Now, I want to talk to you about housing linked to migration. You have been following the migration patterns in this country for some time now, and we've got some industry analysis finding that one new home would have to be built every 2 minutes to cater for the rapidly growing population and the surge in the migration intake. Leith, look, this is an astonishing report, but are you surprised at all?
Look, I'm not surprised at all. Look, I'll be quite frank. Australia has zero chance of meeting the Albanese government's target to build 1.2 million homes or 200 over 5 years or 240,000 homes a year. Look, the highest number of homes that Australia has ever built in a single 12-month period was 223,500 in 2017. And back then we had much lower interest rates. We had much lower materials costs. Materials hadn't increased 40% like they have over the pandemic. And builders weren't competing with state governments for workers with their massive infrastructure projects. So look, the number one solution to Australia's housing crisis is for the federal government to cut immigration sharply to a level that is below the nation's capacity to build housing and infrastructure. And if they don't do that, the housing crisis is going to keep getting worse. The shortages are going to get worse. More people are going to be thrown into homelessness and group housing. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. I've been saying for a long time this is now an acute vote driving issue that both parties obviously have plans at the next election, but it is a very important one in the cost of living crisis. Before we let you go, power prices are expected to rise again as big coal power stations are shut down and the rollout of renewable and storage capacity slows. I mean, we've been talking about our renewables rollout is happening back to front in this country. Leith, is this further evidence of the real costs of rolling out renewables?
Yeah, look, I think the bigger issue, Australia's energy transition's broken because we've engineered an artificial gas shortage on the East Coast and we've delivered some of the highest gas prices in the world. And without gas, you can't have cheap energy because gas is the peaking fuel that's used to generate electricity. So whenever the wind isn't blowing and we don't have enough solar, we need gas as the backstop. And if you have expensive gas, you have expensive electricity. So the solution to Australia's energy crisis is for the federal government to copy every other gas exporting jurisdiction in the world, including Western Australia, and to reserve gas for domestic use, for our use first before we export it, and to make that gas abundant and relatively cheap. And if we do that, we'll also have cheap electricity prices and we'll fix the energy crisis. That's the number one solution.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair point. Leith Van Onselen, thank you so much for your insights as always.